The moving truck rumbled through the iron gates of Willow Creek Estates just after 9 in the morning, its diesel engine echoing against rows of identical stone facades and perfectly trimmed hedges. The sign at the entrance read "Private Community Residence Only" in polished brass. Underneath, in smaller letters, "Maintained by the Willow Creek Homeowners Association." Inside the truck, Marcus and Aisha Carter sat shoulder to shoulder on the bench seat, their two kids squeezed between boxes labeled "Kitchen Fragile" and "Important Files." The air smelled like cardboard and new beginnings. "Is this really it?" 10-year-old Nia whispered, peering out the windshield at the wide tree-lined street. Marcus smiled, though his stomach tightened at the way a curtain shifted in a nearby window. This is it. They had worked 15 years for this moment, 2 jobs each at first night classes, loans paid off, one brutal check at a time. Marcus had started in community organizing before rising through city council, then winning a razor-thin mayoral race just 6 months earlier. But today was not about politics. Today was about giving his family a home in a neighborhood where the sidewalks were smooth and the schools were top-ranked. The truck eased to a stop in front of a 2-story brick house with white shutters and a wraparound porch. Movers hopped out, stretching their backs. Across the street, a woman in a pressed tennis skirt froze mid-step, her sunglasses lowered slightly. A man watering his lawn paused, the hose spraying aimlessly into the air. Aisha noticed first. "They are staring," she murmured. Marcus exhaled slowly. "Let them." The movers rolled down the ramp, boots thudding against metal furniture. Began to emerge a deep blue couch, framed family photos, a dining table with slight scratches from years of birthday dinners and homework sessions. By the time the second dresser came out, a white SUV pulled up sharply at the curb. The door opened with purpose. A tall woman stepped out, clipboard in hand, posture stiff as a ruler. Her blonde hair was pulled into a tight bun. She crossed the street without looking left or right. "Good morning," she said, though her tone carried no warmth. "I am Linda Whitmore, president of the Willow Creek Homeowners Association." Marcus stepped forward, hand extended. "Marcus Carter, nice to meet you." She looked at his hand for half a second, too long, before offering a limp shake. "We were not informed of any scheduled move-ins today," she said, eyes flicking to the movers. "This community requires prior approval for all incoming residents." Aisha raised an eyebrow. "We closed 2 weeks ago. The paperwork was submitted through the management office." Linda's smile tightened. "Yes, well, we have had issues recently. Break-ins disguised as moving services." The word break-ins hung in the air. One of the movers shifted uncomfortably. Nia clutched her little brother's hand. Marcus kept his voice calm. "We are the new owners of 42 Willow Lane. You are welcome to verify." Linda did not move. Instead, she turned slightly, noticing more neighbors gathering at a distance, pretending to check mailboxes or adjust sprinklers. "I think it would be best if we pause this process," she said, "until we confirm." "Confirm what?" Aisha asked. "Sharper now that you belong here." Silence. The sentence felt like a slap that echoed down the manicured street. Marcus met her gaze steadily. "We have the deed." Linda's jaw flexed. "I am going to call the police just to be safe." Nia's fingers tightened around her father's. "Go ahead," Marcus said quietly. Linda stepped back toward her SUV, already dialing across the street. Whispers began. "Did you hear they showed up out of nowhere? Something feels off." The movers looked to Marcus for direction. "Keep going," he told them. But the tension thickened as the first blue and red lights flickered at the entrance gate. A patrol car rolled in. Slowly, deliberate. Officer Daniel Reeves stepped out, adjusting his belt. He glanced at the moving truck, then at Linda marching toward him. "Officer Shibigate," her voice suddenly breathless, "I believe we have a possible burglary situation." "They are unloading furniture into a home that has not been approved for transfer." Reeves frowned. "Ma'am, do you know them?" "No." "And no one notified the HOA?" Marcus walked forward again. Aisha beside him. "Morning, officer," Marcus said calmly. "We are the homeowners." "Do you have identification and proof of purchase?" Reeves asked. "Of course." As Marcus reached into his jacket pocket, he felt the eyes of an entire neighborhood pressing against his back. He handed over his driver's license and a folder containing the closing documents. Reeves scanned them briefly, then paused at the name Marcus Akata. He read. He looked up, eyes narrowing, not in suspicion but recognition. Linda folded her arms. "See, we need verification. You cannot just let anyone." Reeves' expression changed entirely. "Mayor Carter," he said. A ripple moved through the gathered neighbors. Marcus gave a small nod. "Yes." The air shifted like a storm breaking. Linda blinked. Mayor Reeves straightened instantly. "Sir, I did not realize." "It is all right, officer," Marcus said. "You are doing your job." But Linda's face drained of color. "You are the mayor," she whispered. Marcus did not raise his voice. "I was elected 6 months ago." One of the neighbors gasped softly. Another pulled out a phone, perhaps searching the name. Linda's grip tightened around her clipboard. "Well, that is wonderful. We are honored, of course." You thought we did not belong," Aisha said plainly. Linda opened her mouth, then closed it. Reeves cleared his throat. "Everything appears in order." The deed is valid, the identification matches. He handed the papers back. A long, uncomfortable silence followed. The movers resumed unloading, slower, now aware of the spectacle. Marcus looked around at the ring of onlookers. "You are welcome to introduce yourselves. We are neighbors now." No one moved at first. Then the man with the hose coughed awkwardly. "Welcome to the community." The woman in the tennis skirt forced a smile. Linda tried to recover. "The HOA simply prioritizes safety." "Safety for who?" Aisha asked. The question lingered. Linda shifted her weight. "We treat everyone the same." Marcus met her eyes. "Do you?" Another silence. Finally, Reeves tipped his hat slightly. "If there is nothing else, I will be on my way." As the patrol car pulled out, the tension did not disappear. It changed shape. Whispers turned into hushed apologies. Some neighbors drifted back inside. Linda lingered. "I hope you understand," she began weakly. Marcus studied her. "I understand that. My kids just watched their mother and father be treated like criminals in front of their new home." Linda flinched. "That was not what I intended, but it is what happened." Nia stepped forward unexpectedly. "Dad, can we go inside?" Marcus smiled softly. "Yes, sweetheart." As the family walked up their own driveway, the front door opened wide for the first time. Sunlight spilled into an empty living room waiting to be filled. Boxers stacked high walls, echoing possibility, humming. Behind them, Linda stood alone in the street, her clipboard suddenly feeling heavier than before. Inside, Aisha leaned against the wall and let out a long breath she had been holding since the SUV pulled up. Marcus wrapped an arm around her shoulders. "You okay?" he asked. She nodded slowly. "Are you?" He looked toward the front window, where silhouettes still lingered beyond trimmed hedges. "I have faced worse," he said quietly. "But I did not want this to be their first memory here upstairs." Nia's laughter rang out as she claimed the bedroom with the best view. Life, stubborn and bright, moved forward. Hours later, as the sun dipped lower, a knock sounded at the door. Marcus opened it to find a different neighbor, a middle-aged man with kind eyes. "I wanted to apologize," he said simply. "That should not have happened." Marcus studied him. "Thank you," he replied. "If you need anything, welcome," the man added, before walking away. That evening, the Carters sat on their porch eating takeout from paper cartons. The sky glowed pink above Willow Creek Estates across the street. Linda's house lights flicked on. She stood at her window watching them, her expression unreadable. Inside her home, her husband asked quietly, "Did you call the police?" She did not answer right away. "Yes," she finally admitted. "Why?" She hesitated. "I thought something was not right." He looked at her steadily, or someone. The question hung heavy. Back on the Carter porch, Marcus checked his phone. Messages flooded in, neighbors tagging him on community forums, some supportive, others defensive. Aisha leaned her head on his shoulder. "Tomorrow we start fresh," she said softly. Marcus nodded across the street. Linda closed her curtains slowly, her reflection staring back at her in the glass, uncomfortable, questioning. The gates of Willow Creek Estates stood tall and polished as night settled in, but something fundamental had shifted inside them, because the family she had tried to keep out now lived at the heart of the neighborhood, and they were not going anywhere. The next morning arrived with a crisp breeze and the low hum of sprinklers sweeping across emerald lawns. Marcus woke before the rest of the house and stood at the bedroom window looking out at Willow Creek Estates in the soft gray light. The neighborhood seemed peaceful now, almost innocent. If someone had driven by, they would have seen nothing but calm streets and expensive homes. They would not have seen what yesterday had cost. Downstairs, Aisha was already in the kitchen, unpacking plates. The scent of coffee filled the air. "You are up early," she said gently. "So are you." They shared a look, not of defeat, but of resolve. By 8 o'clock, the kids were outside riding their bikes in the driveway. At first, no other children joined them. Curtains shifted again, garage doors opened, then closed. Then something unexpected happened. A small boy from 2 houses down rolled slowly toward Nia on a red scooter. "Hi, my name is Ethan," he said awkwardly. Nia smiled. "I am Nia." Within minutes, they were racing from mailbox to mailbox. A little girl followed, then another. Children, untouched by HOA politics and adult suspicion, did what children do best. They moved forward. Marcus noticed Linda standing at the edge of her lawn, again arms folded, but this time she was not holding a clipboard. He walked toward her calmly. "Good morning," he said. She seemed startled. "Good morning." There was a long pause before she spoke. "I reviewed the footage from my doorbell camera last night. I watched myself." Marcus waited. "I did not like what I saw," she said. "I told myself it was procedure, safety rules, but I never asked to see your documents before assuming the worst." "No, you did not," Marcus said evenly. She swallowed. "I cannot undo yesterday, but I can make sure it does not happen again." He studied her face carefully. "That starts with acknowledging what it was," he replied. She nodded. "It was wrong across the street." Nia's laughter rang out again. "This neighborhood can be better than yesterday," Marcus said. "But that depends on all of us." Linda followed his gaze. For the first time since the moving truck arrived, her posture soft. "I will call a community meeting, not about violations, about inclusion." "That would be a start," Marcus said. Later that afternoon, as the sun cast long golden shadows across Willow Creek Estates, the gates no longer felt like barriers. They felt like something else entirely. A test the neighborhood had failed once but now had the chance to pass. And on the porch of 42 Willow Lane, the Carter family sat together, not as intruders, not as exceptions, but as homeowners. As neighbors, as people who had every right to be there.